I want to talk about um, the Russos, not just them, because they got some things where they talk about DC, right? They got some things where they talk about DC. But first, well, I guess I could talk. We could do the DC thing first. Um, if I have it up, maybe I don't have it up. Yeah. So the Russos are talking. They're saying they are open to tackling DC Studios Batman. Um, which would be the Brave and the Bold. And I think that would be dope work. Joe and Anthony Russo have been quiet, busy since they departed Marvel Studios and their work on the Avengers franchise. They left quite a mark on the blockbuster landscape. This is coming from Murphy's Multiverse, by the way. While some have been thrilled with their latest work, the Gray Man was dope. I enjoyed the Gray Man. I don't know what they mean by not pleased with it. I thought it was dope. Um, but they have been busy promoting the Citadel, which is going to be on Amazon, which also looks dope. They do good work, man. That Avengers work that they did, some of the greatest Marvel stuff was the Russos. You know what I'm saying? All that Captain America's the Russo. You know what I'm saying? Like Russos did that, man. Russos. But it says while they was promoting their series, they asked by comicbook.com if they was interested in tackling any DC projects, given that another Marvel alum has taken over the CEO position. And while they didn't say anything definite, it does seem like they have one character that they definitely want to tackle. Joe Russo came out and said, obviously, James over there running it, it would be a no-brainer. We love him to death. We love the direction he's going to take in the world. He's going to be inventive with it. Our favorite DC characters, I mean, man, there are so many good ones. I always answer based on comics I collected as a kid. And the two comics I collected the most were Spider-Man. Actually, the three were Spider-Man, X-Men, and Batman. And there have been a lot of iterations of Batman. So I feel like that's the obvious answer. And I like that the Russos are actually fans, right? And that's why their movies stand out. Cream of the crop rises to the top, because when you know the lore, when you know the content that you're actually producing, putting together and directing, you come out with a better movie. You know what I'm saying? When you're not trying to imprint all these other things into a character that you don't even understand or know about. That makes for a shitty ass movie. So the Russos, I would trust the Russos damn near with any property, because I think that they would go and do the research. If they didn't know the character already, I think they would go do the research, because they actually are comic book fans. You know what I'm saying? They actually respect the lore. They actually respect what's going on with the character. I think they would do Batman perfectly. I think, let me not say perfect, because nobody's perfect, but I think they would handle that to the best of their ability, and I think it will come out good. Batman Brave and the Bold, Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne, Batman, even introducing Nightwing and having all of those guys show up, I think they would be phenomenal in directing that. I say give them a shot, let them do what they do. Um, so I mean, they can't do no wrong with me. They can't do no wrong with me when it comes to that. But they also had some things to say about Marvel Studios. So Joe Russo opened up on Phase, and this is coming from the direct, opened up on Phase 5's very different story, and why Marvel fans need to be patient about the redirection. The Russo brothers have been pretty honest about all things MCU ever since directed the Infinity Saga's closer, Avengers Endgame. I'm trying to tell you, these dudes the truth, man. These dudes are the truth. They responded to the criticism of Phase 4 releases, noting that other studios may see the MCU success as something maybe not attainable for anybody. Meanwhile, Joe Russo claimed that Spider-Man No Way Home was his favorite MCU Phase 4 movie, describing it as near perfect. Uh, I don't know about that. It was dope, but I wouldn't say near perfect. It was a good film. It was a standout, but it's not hard to stand out from Phase 4. Phase 4 was just not hard to stand out, right? So, in talking about the MCU, he says, and Kevin Feige says, there's nobody better at telling stories than Kevin Feige right now. If you're going to bet on anybody, you bet on him. Now, as much as I trust the Russos, I'm not trusting Kevin Feige right now. And I know he's been there since the beginning, but you did see some things change once Perlmutter lost control, right? And he lost control right around that end game area. You know what I'm saying? Around end game, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. He also says, I think that the type of story that unfolded in the phases that we worked on was a very specific kind of story that was wrapped itself up in those phases. And now it's time for a new story. And I think that's the direction that Marvel's headed in. They're telling you a very different story, a very new story. And I think the audience just needs to be patient with the redirection because you can't keep telling the same story over and over. You lose the audience. Now, that I agree with. You can't keep telling the same story over and over again, but that's what Marvel was doing, telling the same story over and over again. And that's why they lost the audience. You know what I'm saying? The audience was telling people or telling them, hey, this is what we want. This is what we think you should do. And instead of listening to the audience, they did the opposite. And then with them doing the opposite and the shit goes down and the fans telling, you know what I'm saying, reviewing or whatever, they got mad at the fans. Why would you get mad at the fans? The people who's supposed to be spending money and buying the shit. Don't get mad at the fans. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the drawing board and get better product. Never get mad at the end user. Never. Um, Also saying, I think they're taking some very big swings and they're playing around with the tone and they're championing diversity as much as anyone in the storytelling space right now. And all of these things are huge wins for large scale storytelling. There's that diversity. I have no issue with diversity. I think things should be diverse. It should represent America. America is a melting pot of cultures, of races, ethnicities, all types of things. But if you're doing things for diversity just because of diversity's sake, it's going to go nowhere because the story has to match the diversity or the diversity has to be real. Is the diversity real? I don't, you know. You just throwing a black face up there or a gay scene in the movie just to say, oh, we got diversity. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna hit on that a little bit later. We loved them to death. We had an amazing experience working together. All of us were focused on production. Uh, we're focused on the production company, AGBO, right now, and all of the projects that we have going on AGBO. It's been a very busy year for us. There's a lot going on in the world right now. That's where our focus is at the moment. So they're basically saying that um, they're just focused on their production company and the things that they got in the works right now. But Marvel is still king to them. You know what I'm saying? Marvel is still God tier. And I can't blame them for that. You know what I'm saying? That's where they cut their teeth at. That's where they made their bones at. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? But basically they just saying that the fans need to be patient and wait. Phase 5 is it has began, but it began with Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was not a good movie. And Marvel has things they with this Kang situation, this Jonathan Major situation. I don't know if they can. What's the word I'm looking for? With the fans being patient, I don't know if they can really wait on the fans being patient. They got to bring some heat. They got to bring some heat because it just ain't looking. You know what I'm saying? What are the fans really anticipating? I mean, I got my select few, but there's no consensus on anticipation within Marvel right now. So be patient. You might lose all your viewership. You know what I'm saying? All your fans trying to be patient. So your next whatever you got coming got to be a banger out of the park. You got to knock that motherfucker clean up out of the park. You know what I'm saying? Like home run, first up the bat home run. Even well, it can't be first up the bat home run because Ant-Man wasn't a home run. But you gotta no base hits. You know what I'm saying? You gotta knock this out. It's gotta go yard. You got just letting you know. So basically, Marvel fans need to be patient. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think we need to be patient, or do you think that they just need to come with the heat? You know what I'm saying? Do they just need to come with the heat? I think they just need to come with the heat. You know what I mean? I think it'd be way easier to just come with the heat. Just come with the heat. So while we talk